Hey everybody, how we doing today? So, bit of a windy, overcast day, so perfect time to catch up on some chores. So I think what I'm gonna do is I've got some orders and I'm low on stock on some lead items. So I think today we're gonna make it a lead pouring day. So that's the plan. All right, so I know I'm low on snagging. I could use some more 8/0s, but I'm totally out of the 2/0 lead. And these are basically the snagging hooks, the mullet snagging hooks there, this 2/0 size. So I definitely need those. And then my grouper jig heads, I'm out of the 1.5 and I'm low on the 1 ounce. So let me go ahead and make those 2 up as well. All right, that's what we need. All right, I got my workbench set up, so let me bring out all the stuff and we'll get started. Now, if you haven't seen any of my lead pouring stuff, I have a playlist that you can check out on the channel, and then I've got one that reviews all my equipment, and then I've been doing some individual kind of videos on the individual do-it molds that I do. So you can check those out, but today we're just gonna get caught up on some of the customer order ones. So let's get started here. I am concerned that I don't have very much lead left. I've only got about 1, 2, 3, 8 bars. So I use these, but yeah, I'm gonna need to do another order. I'll see how far I can go. I primarily need the jig heads first, and then if I have enough left over, I'll do the snag hooks. Otherwise, I'll have to do a lead order. I didn't know I was that low. But let's get started. Well, it's already started. Got this on, and then I just need a meltdown, and then we'll go from there. All right, we've got our cauldron full of lead there. So I just need to do a little cleaning, and then we can start pouring. Also had this heating up on top. Very important to have these molds heated up prior to using them. All right, we want to clear out as much contaminants as possible. I'm going to use some candle wax. Drop that in there. Use a lighter to start it on fire. That way it doesn't smoke so much. Mix it, mix it. Ooh, shoot. Hot, hot, hot. And keep mixing it all up. Lead is heavier than pretty much everything, so you can see all the contaminants rising to the top. And then you can also see by the smoke, I've got my door open, and then it's pushing the wind because it's pretty breezy today. Usually I could use my fan, but I don't need to today. I'm just gonna get all that stuff moved over. Alright, we can start scooping it out. And that leaves us some nice clean lead that's not going to plug our nozzle. And that's very important with these type of jigs we're doing. Alright, good to go. Look at all the colors. So pretty. Shiny. All right, let's start testing here. The biggest challenge with these type of jig heads are the prongs. All right, so it pours from the top down, and in order to get those prongs to be very distinct and to fill up, this mold has to be very hot, and your lead needs to shoot down there right away, fill the bottom, and fill up those crevices upwards. And the only way to do that is if it's hot. So you got to make sure you do it quickly, and this mold is hot. This has 3 different sizes, so this is the 1 ounce, 1.5, 2 ounce. So this uses the 5/0 hook, which is what I'm using there. Eagle Claw 5/0s, 41.3s O'Shaughnessy's. And then so we got to make sure it goes in the right slot, sitting straight. It's in there. Now I'm going to test this out. See if we got it. And there we go. We've got a nice clean pour. The prong's working good there, so that'll work. And then this top half just gets cut off there, so it's just the jig head. Nice. Let's do a 6/0. And that's 6/0. Perfect. Got those prongs there. That's the most important part. We're good to go. Now, one of the best ways to make sure you get a good pour, I get a vice grips with a paper clip, and then just heat it up a bit, put some wax on it, and stick that in the nozzle. And that does is cleans it out and make sure that your lead is pouring very cleanly. And I usually do that after every couple of pours. So we're gonna do the 5 and the 6 at the same time since we're ready for production. There. There. Alrighty. Alright, let's see how we did there. Looks good. Perfect. Alright, now we just got to crank them out. All right, I got about 75 of each, so we're good there. I'm actually out of hooks on the 1 ounce, and I'm getting low on the lead. The thing to remember about these, though, is that they leave about a 3/4 ounce, maybe 1/2 ounce of a little cone on top, so I could trim those and feed it back in. But what I'm going to try to do is get about 50 of the 2/0 mullet snag hooks done. So as long as I have enough lead for that, I'll be good. Then I'll order more lead, order more hooks, and then I'll have to do another pour later on. To trim these little nubbins here, I just got some straight cutters, and then I just go around and kind of cut at different angles. And lead is soft, so I just give it a couple smacks, takes off the sharp edge, and it's good to go. So I'll do some of these. I'm not going to sit here all day just doing this, but just so I have enough lead to do those snag hooks, because I'm out of those. Doesn't take very long. The other thing you can use is just some pliers and twist them off, because since it's a cone there and that's the weak spot, just twist it off. Oops, and there it goes. Nice clean cut off. So that works just as well. Bam. Next up, we're going to work on the mullet snagging hooks. Now that I'm starting to see the mullet showing up, our mullet run will start here pretty quick. So I want to get a bunch of these made up. I'm actually out of these 2/0 ones. This is a 2/0 treble with 1/2 ounces of lead. I also have it in a 5/0 and an 8/0. For this one, I used the Mustad 3551 BRs, that's bronze. When I can get them, I'll also use the Duratin, which is basically the kind of the silver coated ones, better for corrosion resistance in the salt water. But otherwise, I'm going to do a bunch of those. I'm waiting for my mold to heat up, and then we'll start pouring. Now, the only trick for doing these snag hooks is that you have to insert the hooks in the right direction. There's actually one direction that it fits, and the way that you can tell is on the shank of the hook. It's like basically a triangle, but one backside is flat, and then opposite to it, if you hold on to the opposite tine here, it comes to a point like a triangle. So this side's flat, and if in the light you can look down and you can see there's a triangle down there as well. So you just want to make sure that that flat spot is on the right side, and it'll fit right in there. And then you're going to do all four that direction, all that way, get the right side there, and then it'll slide right in there. You don't have to open it up all the way. Hold the tine, and then opposite to it should be flat. That's all you have to do. And this one's nice because I could do 4 at one time, and that saves me some time. And then you can also tell by looking at the bottom that it's flush, so you have all of them in the right direction. So the triangle has to match the triangle. So now we'll fill them up. The other thing that you have to do is the top of the mold is the bottom of the lead shank. You're not going to be trimming anything off. So I got over the end one is hard for me to fill because I have to kind of do it at an angle, but you want to get that flat right to the top, and that way you have a nice flat bottom there. I'll have to trim that one, and then you can just dump them out. And there you go. Do a couple more here. This one I like to turn the heat down so it's not as hot. You don't need it as watery because we're not filling up, and it'll actually plug the bottom hole up faster, which will prevent the leak through that you'll have to trim off after. Okay, got our next load. All good there. Man, I'm overfilling these. Keep forgetting that these aren't very big. So there we go. And that one's really good there. See if I have an overfill one. Yeah, this one had a little bit of leak by there, but it just peels off because the lead really won't stick to the hook. Here's a leak by. So you can kind of see that it leaked past the seam there, but it's no big deal. It's just a thread that'll pull right off. Same thing with the little nubbins there. They won't stick to the hook. So this will go fast. That was 8 of them already. All right, I'm down enough on the lead there, so I'm gonna stop there. I've got about 75 of the 2 jig heads, and then right around 100 of the 2/0 snaggers. So that's all good. For my lead, I generally get it either through eBay, or there's a couple of sellers that I buy directly from. I'm looking for $1.50 to $2 a pound, including shipping. And then I generally buy 50 to 100 pounds, try to get some better pricing there. But usually I'll just go through. Sometimes, I think the last one I found, I paid $1.90, and it was just a one-off. Some guy was just getting rid of his last stash, so I went ahead and bought it. But I just buy the clean lead ingots so I don't have any problems with my nozzle. That's the biggest stuff. And I don't want to go through the
the cleaning process and all that hazard material and all that crap. So I just want a good clean ingots that I could just scrape off a little bit of contamination and get to pouring and not have any problems and just knock it out and be done with it. So just go through and see what's available here, and then I'll order some more lead, and then I also need more hooks now too. And here's an order going out with the jig heads. This is going to Shannon in Hawaii. He got the 2 ounce, 1.5, and the 1 ounce, and then the 1 ounce fish head jig heads. I'm going to throw in a couple of my sample glow curly tail grubs. That's generally what I make these jig heads for, to mate with those, but they can try them out there, see how they work. So that's heading out to you, Shannon. All right, there you go. That's some lead pouring for the day, some all about the bait stuff. Now I need to start working on an order to take down to Esky Rods, Key West, fill them up. I got a bunch of new products for them that I'll be installing there. And then I've got to work on the lure room back here at the All About the Bait warehouse, and I've got to put a new rack in and get a bunch of new baits assorted and stacked up and organized. So it never stops. When I'm not fishing, I'm still fishing. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye.